Hi guys, so I've got another video for you today. Just to confirm, today is the 1st of July. I never took any trades today, but I just wanted to make a video for you guys just to show you what I could see and possibly see what we could get next week. So today there was a very big candle which I missed out on. I just didn't have time to trade today, and we'll just go through the setup, and you can see that we moved 360 pips just today. So that's a huge move for GBPJPY, and as you can tell, we did come down and we filled in this fair value gap. Now the only thing that when I'm looking at the daily time frame is, actually, before we go into the daily time frame, let's quickly jump into the chart and see if we could have got an entry today at some point. So if I put on my markings, I did have, so I've marked this out already, and to me I didn't think there was an entry for me, and I'll explain why. So this is today's trading. You can see down here that's the 1st of July. So we came down, we rallied up. Now the only problem that I had with this specific trade was, if I go into the 5 minute, I just want to see something. Okay, so what we had was on the 5 minute, we've got a fair value gap here, and we've also got this up candle which is being respected. As you can see, the bulk of the candles are below this, and that could have been a possible sell, but the problem with that is if I hover over that candle, that was at 4:40 New York time, so I could have not entered into that trade, and obviously I'm not going to enter into trades prior to 7 o'clock. Now, just before 7 o'clock, we had this movement down. We had this 5 minute fair value gap. I assumed that they would try and bring this back up, because what they've got is, see, what they've done is as they've moved down, they've left another 1 hour fair value gap, another 1 hour fair value gap, a 15 minute fair value gap, another 5 minute fair value gap right here. So they're leaving a lot of fair value gaps on the upside when they made this down movement, and they were not getting retested. So if we just go straight into today when I would have traded, there was absolutely zero pullbacks in terms of highs being taken out. Now, in order for me to be bearish, I would have not sold at the bottom. Now, if this was the low prior to, or this is the low prior to 7 o'clock, if we even take this one, I would have expected this to go down and then to rally up, then I would have sold, because first we've taken out the sell side liquidity, then we've taken out the buy side liquidity, and then we would have sold. But as you can see, we had a breakdown here, and there's a fair value gap here, but there is no way I would have entered that. It's because we've not taken out any buy side liquidity. We've pretty much been in a downward market. You can also see that yesterday, so during New York in the evening, we moved a considerable amount, 156 pips, with almost again zero pullbacks. The only ones I can see is the fair value gap here, which got tagged, another fair value gap here which got tagged, but then when the big move happened, so these are all small moves, but when the big move happened, we got zero pullback in terms of into the fair value gaps. So I expected it to come up to at least here, and then possibly, like even right now when I say possibly, I still wouldn't have entered because this candle was happening at 440. So I was expecting some sort of pullback and buy side liquidity taken. But you can see from New York, so from the high of New York, London, this was the high for London, and if I take this down and I drag this down, 275 pips we moved in at the end of London and at the start of New York. Sorry, that's not correct. We moved 275 pips during New York in a one directional, plan. There was zero pullbacks. So even if I was looking at the chart today, I would not have traded today because I was not comfortable trading. Now you can see that I've got this box drawn here. There is the daily fair value gap. Now if I scrub left and just show you where this box is coming from, this box has been filled in this fair value gap. Okay, now you can see that once we moved into this fair value gap, we broke the fair value gap and we traded below the fair value gap as well. Let's see, actually this is quicker. Yep, okay. So you can see that we traded into it, we filled it, and then what we did was, even after 10 o'clock, if we had this break of or market shift where we had this impulse move up, and then we had the high here, that could have been an entry, but again, I would not have entered is because it's after 10 o'clock. My setup needs to be within 7 to 10. If I quickly show you something, if we go into the 1 hour, just so that it makes more sense, there is that 1 hour fair value gap that you see that we filled in today. One thing I do want you to notice is if I take 50% of this, I just want to quickly check something and hopefully we can see it together. So if this is 50% of that candle, which would have been, 50% of this candle, that would have been the mean threshold of this candle. And if I quickly draw here, you can see that we tapped in there, and within that area, if I go into the 3-minute chart, within this area we created fair value gaps as we were rising. It's not on the 3 minutes, on the 5 minutes. So if I go here, yep. So again, fair value gap here. But I wouldn't have entered. Now, what I'm trying to establish is where is the market trying to go next now. Now, if I go into the daily chart and just talk to you guys. So we filled in this fair value gap. We filled in a 1 hour fair value gap that was looming in this area. We potentially might have a fair value gap here if the next candle if it closes this. Then what I'm thinking is, and it continues to push higher, I'm thinking it's going to go for this. But the only concern that I now have is we got down, up, down, up, and then a break. Now what break am I talking about? I'm talking about this break right here. So you've got this candle here with a higher wick here and a higher wick on this side. This broke with a lot of force, and only on Monday, or when Monday finishes, I'll be able to see, is this a possibility that we're now going to reverse and we are going to now go on the downside. But only time will tell, and we'll be able to see what's going on. Only concern about this move here is if this was, no, actually I'll need to wait till Monday. I'll need to wait until Monday until I see what Monday does and see if we do get a fair value gap. If we do, then I would think that we're going to now start to tackle all the low side and leave this intact for another time. But yeah, that was my video. I'm just obviously talking to you guys about GBPJPY. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if I have a trade on Monday I think is going to be a holiday, so the markets are going to be very slow. It's the 4th of July on Monday, so the markets will be very slow on Monday. That's what I think, because it's a holiday. And if I don't see anything on Monday, what we'll do is we'll chat on Tuesday and I'll try and make a video for you guys then. But yeah, so have a good weekend and I'll speak to you next week.